So in essence, you're scalping the TVL off of ETH and moving it to X1. I think that's kind of what the idea is, because one of the key KPIs metrics of a chain is the TVL on chain, right? Cryptoslo with more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about X1 and whether or not I think it's a good idea. Is it necessary for Zen's success? Is it a vertical scale of Zen? Let's talk a little bit about X1. First and foremost, the basics. 1 billion coins. There's going to be a burn schedule that half of the coins will be burnt, I think, over a 5-year period. So what does that mean? That means there's actually 500 million coins, okay, in the long run. Number one. Number two, this will be VC backed. Jack made that clear in his AMA. He's doing everything legit. It's going to be accredited investors. And then people are like, no, VCs for it. Well, before you do that, he assures they won't dump on your head, but you know, I mean, he'll have an unlock schedule, obviously. But the reality is running a chain, a full-blown chain, costs money. No different than Vitalik. You have to have a foundation per se to make sure the nodes are updated, to, you know, just keep it running. It costs money. So the VCs will get a chunk of the coins. So now we have less than 500 million. Then there'll be an airdrop to NFT holders. The very hot specifics of that have not been discussed. But I mean, I see people arguing over the coins on the test net. I'm just like, dude, there's going to be 500 million coins. You get one coin for a collector. Well, that was the test net scenario. But supposedly the network goes live test net, I think February 1st. Okay. All right. And everyone at Minute NFTs will get an airdrop, and you'll be able to bridge from all the chains to X1. So, okay, that's X1. It's going to be cheap to do transactions on. We know that. So, here's the questions. Here's some thought process. Will there be Zen minted on X1? I don't think so, but I don't know 100% sure. But X1 is the gas token. It is the chain. It's X1 chain. So, I don't know. So basically he's creating a high-speed chain that doesn't cost a lot. We have 1 million of these already. So you're like, how is that going to be? Why is that necessary? Well, here's my thesis. And if I was a betting man, or if I was smart, I would launch X1, fork Uni, and then you have to bring value to the chain, okay? Because the reality is, ETH is where it's at because it costs, like, you can sit and argue this with people. People are like, gas fees are too high. But the gas fees intrinsically make it expensive and make the chain more valuable, because people have to put value into the chain. It costs value in order to operate on the chain. That'd be like saying your country club golf course is too expensive. Okay, well then you can't afford to be on the golf course. The golf course will still be in business with or without you. Okay, so X1 by itself really doesn't have much value. Okay, however, if you can bring the value to the X1 and then do verticals off of that, low-cost transactions that allow dApps and DeFi to be built, that's a wonderful thing. So my vision would be that for every chain, there'll be a wrapped version of it with separate price action on X1, okay? That would make sense, okay? So you can move your gold, which I've mentioned many times before. I think the Ethereum Zen is the gold. I'm not really focused on the other ones or trading the other ones. I've minted a few here and there, and I'll probably mint some NFTs on BSC, but you know, I'm not gonna, my focus, remember, you gotta stay focused. That's our 2023 synopsis. People will be able to bridge their Zen from the expensive chain to the frictionless chain and have dApps and DeFi. So in essence, you're scalping the TVL off of ETH and moving it to X1. I think that's kind of what the idea is, because one of the key KPIs metrics of a chain is the TVL on chain, right? So if you just launch a chain, you'll have a liquidity pool. Liquidity pool is probably going to be sponsored by the VCs, the money that they collect from that. But do I think it's necessary? Ooh, this is a tough topic. Do you need a cheap chain to be fast and frictionless? It does reduce the friction of transactions, but that assumes you can move value to the chain. So I don't know. I mean, I'm on both sides. I can see where it would add value to Zen, because then it would allow people from every single chain to move the value that they've created on those chains, scalp all the TVL and move it to the X1 chain. And then you develop your vertical scales. That makes sense. On the flip side, it creates another layer that makes the ecosystem a little less user-friendly, because now the person has to, like, let's say it's your grandma, she has to get Coinbase, get MetaMask, get fiat in, move it to the chain, add the RPC, get your Zen, mint Zen, wait 400 days, bridge it over to X1, and then start using X1. So I don't know, man. It seems that's my against side of whether or not I think it's necessary. It's, in some ways it creates friction, and other ways it reduces friction. That assumes that everyone wants to move their Zen from ETH to X1, because I would assume there's probably people already working on dApps on ETH for the ETH side on just, you know, regular ETH. So it's tough to say. So those are some things to think about concerning X1. The new NFTs dropped today, where it allows you to take loose Zen and you can spool them into an NFT and then stake. This allows multiple stakes on one wallet, which that's definitely a cool development. That should soak up a lot of the free Zen in the market. So anyways, hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, like, subscribe, and have a great weekend. This is Cryptoslo. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking.